get information about spare parts on the stock, we can do from different angles. The first angle here we will look at is if we have, for example, a breakdown. If we have a breakdown, we will normally here go into the plant structure, into my Explorer here, and find my object. In this case, we take here 101-03. If we double click here on the green box, we will look at the spare part that is attached to our object. When I'm looking here at the object, I can see my 125 is a spare part, and this is the one that has been broken down. We need to replace it. When we need to replace it, of course we need information about what we can do. At the lower end here on the buttons, we can see we have several enabled. The first one here is the stock. So if we want to replace it, the easiest way is to go down to stock to see if we have anyone on stock. So if I select my stock, I can now see here that I have several. So the spare part here is, on this case here, 5 different stocks. I can see the location of them. I can see how many for use. I can also see the physical quantity on it. I can also go down here and select the supplier that is connected to the spare part. So when I select my supplier, I can see that I have 3 supplier key connected. And here I can see the supplier spare part number, name, when it was last delivered, which one is the main one, the primary, last price, currency, and so on. And of course, standard delivery time, the lead time. The next one here is including. In this case here, I can see if I have this spare part installed somewhere else in my system. When I select it, I can see that the same spare part is installed at 4 locations in the system beside the one that I have on my stock. So in worst case scenario, I could also go down here and take it out of these and replace it until I get it from a purchase order, for example. The next one is document. Here I can see if there is any document attached to my spare part. The document here could be a picture, a diagram, it could be a description what to do and how to do it, how to maintain it. It could be a description of how to maintain it. In this case, it's just a picture, a diagram. The next one is a purchase order. In here I can see all the purchase orders that has been attached to it. And here I can also see the purchase status on it. And the quantity that is on the order, expected delivery days. And I can go down from here to the purchase order line or the request itself. I can also use the last one here, is transaction history. In here I can see all transactions that has been made on it, where it has been connected, when, in this case also to the work orders and the maintenance objects. So if I have a breakdown, I have 7 buttons here that can give me a choice how to fix my problem the best way. By simply selecting it from stock, get a supplier and call him, take it from a kit, replace it from another location in the system, taking it out of another object, look at some kind of document attached to my spare part, look at the purchase order to see if it is already ordered and on the way, or look at transaction history. If we go into the stock control itself, we have it here basic data for stock, and stock control data. In here I can find my spare part. I can see on the spare part here that I have economical 21, physical for use 29, quantity for use 28. This means at the stock I will be able to find 29, but I can only take 28. One is on a reservation. Out of the 29 that I have on stock, it's only the 21st that has been paid. That means that we have an invoice on. That means also that we are missing 8 on an invoice. It will be coming later. From here I can see the auto reorder is set. It means that we have the possibility in the purchase order accumulation automatically to find out when we need to buy it. It will be activated when we go below the minimum quantity. When we go below minimum quantity, the order will be from the quantity at the time and up to the maximum. On the status, we will be able to see some of the other information I just mentioned. Here I can see the reservation is 1, ordered at this time is 0, requested quantity is 14, and the average price is 230. To operate with the spare part here on the stock, I can also go down here and add a transaction manually. If we do not have the purchase system, that will be the way to do it. In this case, I can add a transaction. And if I add, for example here, 6 units, the price is taken from the system, in this case from the spare part itself. I add it and make a transaction. The window is updated immediately. As we can see, it has changed. We can also do a scrapping. When we do a scrapping, it means that we have spare part on stock that we can no longer use, and therefore we need to get rid of it and take it out of the system, and we will not be able to use it. In this case, it could be a spare part that has an expire date. If we scrap, again, we get tell the system how many to scrap. The price cannot be changed. Okay, and the system will update. Then we have the adjustment. The adjustment means that we can go down on the stock and count how many units we have. If the physical number does not match, we can simply go here and make the change. It can be more or less. Normally we will do this by the stock taking list. I try to change it to 35, that's what I counted. And as we can see here, the account also changed depending on the system setup. It's going for the cost type, default adjustment, and for an account for the adjustment. Okay. The next one is FIFO. FIFO is first in, first out. Here we can see what the price is on the units that we have. In this case, I have 35 units, but they might not have been bought with the same price. So in here I can see I have 4 sequences. The first one's taken out here is 230. That's the first 22 I will take out. The next 5 will be at 208.25. After that I will take out 6 at 230, and after that 2 with 230 again. The system will keep track on in which order to take them out. First in, first out. Then we have the history button. The history button here will show our transactions. Over time it will be very long. In here we will see all the transactions. The first transaction will be the begin transaction. There will only be 1 in it. After that we can have different transactions. As we can see here, most of them will be A, R, and D. A is for adjustment, R for removal, and D for delivery. As we can also see here, the D delivery is attached to a purchase order, and we got 7. If we take, for example, the R, it has a removal on 7 at work order 523. And we can see the top one, that's the physical balance. We got 35 left. Then we have the purchase order, where we see all the purchase order that's active on it. A request. We have one request. If we have a pick list, we can see the pick list it is attached to. We have reservations. Here we can see our reservation that we saw before, the 2. The spare part itself could also be located at another location. Normally we will only have it at one location, but if we have to have it at another location as well, we can put in here an alternative location. And here we can add the other location. And the last one here is a barcode print, if we want to print it out. So here we have a lot of functionality to control the stock itself on the stock. We can add transaction, make scrapping and adjustment. We can look at the FIFA price in it. We can have a look of all transactions that has been made on this spare part, on this stock. We can follow the purchase orders, request and pick list, and also the reservations. And we can see if we have an alternative location. Beside all these, we also have a lot of reports in it. The reports we find here in stock control reports. And here we have several reports that has been made standard in the system. For example, the stock below minimum, stock value list, inventory turnovers, non-moving stock items, for example, and so on. An example here. If we want to see if I have any items on my stock that has not been removed, that means taken out to a work order over several times, I can go in here and run the report. Put in my stock, my type number, if I have any, or if I want to select all. Here I have the date that I'm looking at, and I can say OK. And here I will be able now to see if there's any spare part that has not been moved since the 1st of January 2006. And then I get the list.